got a chance to speak on the same stage with people like Russell, Amanda, and so how you get this opportunity, how you are able to speak on that event, on that stage?
That's a great question. One thing that I always say, my dad always taught me, is surround yourself with the people you want to be like, right? If you
What is up, guys? What is up? I'm back with another interview on the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show, which is hosted by me, Nilesh Jain. And today, this is where we interview entrepreneurs, affiliate marketer, coach, consultant, and so super personality on my show. So today we have one of the awesome, amazing warrior, or he's a young warrior, young entrepreneur with us. He's just 13-year-old. He spoke on the same stage with people like Russell Brunson, Amanda Holmes, Alex Chaffin, and many more. He is passionate about helping people learn about cool products that he finds just as interesting as the adults and do review for them. So he helped entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders to shift their mindset, getting them out of their own way to get outrageous result. He loved to do product reviews. Who does product review on tech products, campaign gear, and photography equipment? So further delaying lot more, let's have Luke on the stage. So hey Luke, welcome to the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me on today.
It's a pleasure of mine. It's a great to have you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, are you hear me loud and clear before we start?
I can hear you loud and clear.
So, guys, we today we have a Luke. He's just 13 year, but the things he's going to share with us is lots of super valuable golden nugget. So make sure you take notes because he's going to share tons of value. So if you're with us on live, put hashtag live, with us on replay, put hashtag replay. So before we start, could you share a little bit about yourself, like how you started on this entrepreneurship journey at a very young age?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for me, the entrepreneurship journey has been incredibly awesome. I started my business, technically, I've always been a huge fan of helping people in any way I can. I've always loved camping gear and photography and tech products. It's a huge passion of mine. And so I went on YouTube and I loved watching the product reviewers. They would review the new iPhones and the new tech products and the new photography gear and new camping gear and all that kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed it. But I found that no kids were actually doing that. And I'm like, well, I want to change that. So I started my YouTube channel called Luke's View. And then I just kind of went over and I just literally started doing and reviewing products that I loved. And I just went around my home reviewing everything and anything I could, from microphones to iPhones to cameras to whatever I could really review and give my personal opinion on. Then when people come over to my YouTube channel, they're like, well, when we were making big buying decisions like this, whether it's a big tech product or whatever, you want to see some other reviews that other people have, right? So doing that, watching other people's opinions, their thoughts on it from a kid's point of view, and even an adult's world from other adults, but also from a kid's, it's really important. And so I think for me, it was just something I just loved doing and helping people. And I got the question all the time, Luke, what product should I buy? Luke, what product should I buy in this category? And just kind of like that for me was super important. And so that's how I really started in the product review industry.
Super. This is kind of crazy stuff that you just shared. And yeah, people like you just mentioned all about the technical review, and people like to love all the reviews from you. That's great, super awesome. Super. So, guys, this is crazy. So, you also got a chance to speak on the same stage with people like Russell, Amanda, and so how you get this opportunity, how you are able to speak on that event, on that stage?
That's a great question. One thing that I always say, my dad always taught me, is surround yourself with the people you want to be like, right? If you surround yourself with people that are always negative, never positive, just doing things that aren't very productive, they're always complaining about something, whether it's the weather, the news, or politics or whatever, they're bringing you down and they're not giving you anything. They're just you're just someone that they like to complain to, just to get their feelings out, which is good to have someone to talk to sometimes. But when you're always complaining, it's not very well. So I've always been surrounding myself with people I want to be like is super important. So that show, the RR Symposium, was created by a good friend of mine, Christopher Voss, and I was connected to him, and he's the king of connections and relationships and being that. And so that was super cool. And then I remember I was friends with him. I've been friends with him for 4 years now. It's been crazy. 4 or 5 years now. I met him right at the start of my entrepreneur journey. And then my dad introduced me to him. And then, yeah, he asked me one day, he's like, hey, do you want to come on my RR Symposium? I'm like, sure, why not? And so I went on, and it was a great show, really, or like not show, symposium. It was very awesome. I learned a ton there. But I also got to speak with some pretty cool people like Russell Brunson, like you said, and lots of Marley Jacks, lots of really cool people that show. And that's because when you build your relationships over a period of time, building your relationships, building those connections is super important. When you build those connections, it brings you a long way, and it gives you a positive impact on other people. You can help other people, you can collaborate with other people. And then if you do good for others, it always comes back to you, and you can meet other really cool people, which is super cool.
Wow. Yeah. True. So true. Like surrounded yourself with the people who have the same mindset and remove the people. Don't be surrounded yourself with the negative mindset people. That's true. Fact. So you just mentioned like you have to build a relationship with the people. So you are mostly focused on a lot of building quality relationship as well. So how you exactly build a quality relationship with this kind of people?
That's a great question. So I use quite a few. I've been connected with quite a few different people, and they all have different tactics. So Christopher Voss is really big on sending different gifts and stuff like that. Another person that I'm really good friends with is Amanda Holmes, like you mentioned. That she's also doing a boot camp coming up called the Dream 100 Boot Camp. And so that's super cool. And so I like to take, some people do different things and they have different twists on things. And so I like to get the things that I like and compact them down. And so one big thing that I love what Christopher Voss does is he is super big on sending out gifts, things that are personalized, not just like sending out, some mug or whatever, but he really goes down and he researches about the person, and he goes over and he finds out what they love, what they're really good at, and he gifts them those things, and they're like, whoa, this is really cool. Like, this is not just like some ordinary gift. Like, this is something that like I really enjoy, right? That creates a good relationship. And Amanda Holmes, what she does, she really likes to create a list called the Dream 100 list. You probably heard of it before, but it's really cool because you can create your list of who you're going to reach out to. That's super important. So I'm actually super excited for this boot camp to learn more about the Dream 100 boot camp, because it's going to be super awesome, and I'm excited to learn more about it. But yeah, it's super awesome, and just creating those relationships, finding out about your Dream 100, who they're like, what they do, everything they enjoy is super important, right? Just coming up with that is super important. That's how you create your connection. When you show interest in that person, they'll show interest back at you because you showed interest first.
So true. So true. Like when you show interest in other people, they are going to show interest in you as well. So 100% fact. So like I was scrolling you through your profile and see lot of things about you are following Bob Proctor. So
Yes.
you and your dad following Bob Proctor a lot. So what were the three things that you learned from him and implemented in your life on daily basis?
That's a great question. So 3 things. It's hard to pick out 3. Because me and my dad, we have a program called High Frequency Habits that we built together in inspiration of Bob Proctor. And it's been super awesome. Helped a lot of people with that. But Bob Proctor, I'd say 3 things that have impacted me the most is number 1, goal cards. Now, my goal card I normally have it with me all the time. But a goal card is a little piece of paper that says, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and your goal. So you put that on there. So my goal at the time was to achieve getting the ATV, something that people don't know about me. It's a little hobby of mine, ATVs. And so I achieved it actually of 5 months of hard work, but I had it written down on a goal card. And that was super important. I read it out every day. I wrote it on a notebook of I'm so happy and grateful. I wrote it out 10 times a day. It gets engraved into your mind. And that's one of my favorite things from Bob Proctor. Number 2 is, one sec. Talk so much, but one of the things is number 2 is manifestation. So he talked about when you have your goal, manifesting that goal, figuring out what that goal looks like. It was kind of cool because I would figure out what that ATV felt like. what it was kind of felt like, what I'd be doing with it, the feel of it, the brand of it, all of that. And I could really picture myself actually owning that ATV. And so when I actually bought the ATV, it was crazy because it was like I already have done it before, but yeah, I'm actually in the real thing. And so it's really cool. So manifestation is really cool because it gets you obsessed with your goal. It gets you obsessed with it, and it makes you work harder towards that goal. Because if you just say, some people say, well, what's a goal? Some people just say, well, I think it'd be cool to achieve $1 million one day, right? The mindset there isn't there. You think, I think it's cool. You're not very serious about it. You don't know what that looks like. So you just can't come up with that. And number 3 that Bob Proctor always says, that I talked about before, surrounding yourself with the right people. That's a huge one. Again, he talks about different connections. And then number 4, I'm going to give a bonus one, since I just covered the third one, is, taking in lots of knowledge, always growing, always ready to take in new knowledge from other people. Well, that's through books, courses, videos, whatever. I mean, Bob Proctor's YouTube channel is pretty powerful. If you want to go check that out, he has a 24/7 live stream on that of just different clips from him. But it's super important. Coming up with different courses and books and asking questions is super important. He always, a good friend of mine, who's also friends with Bob Proctor, Mark Victor Hansen, he wrote a book called Ask, right? The thing of asking. And so in that book, actually has Bob Proctor's example of when he asked. And so just asking is super important. That's how you get things. That's how you get opportunities. If you just sit there and wait, well, it's never going to happen. It's like someone sitting in a room here and being like, hey, like, you really want tacos, but you just sit there hoping the tacos manifestly come out, but the tacos won't because you haven't asked for them, right? The employees at the taco place aren't just going to randomly think, if you're sitting all the way across the restaurant at a different restaurant, that you want tacos, but you're at the burger place. Not a very good example, but it's just different things. You have to ask for these things. You have to ask for the opportunities. You have to ask for this. And so that's super important. That's how you get good connections too, is just asking.
Super. Like, ask, if you, the quote there is, if you never ask, the answer is always no. So you have to be asked. And yeah, love this 4 takeaways. The 4th one is as a bonus. So first one is goal card. That is literally crazy. Like, yeah, I also write my all the goals every single day to remember myself. Second thing, manifest. Be obvious with your goal, so it literally help you a lot. And the third one is surrounded yourself with the positive people and always grow. Like, 4th point is always grow from books, from courses, and you share. Ask, the book name Ask, and superb. Ask, always ask. If you never ask, the answer is always no. Right. So, what is the 3 books that you will read in your life at
3
the
months
moment, or
for me,
like to suggest other people?
I would say there's a few things. I'm going to go with habits that I want to share with some people today, that I do every morning or every day that kind of set me up for a productive day. Because some people say, well, how do you have a productive day? Productive can mean different things. I think productivity for me is not the amount of time I saved. It's how much work I got in a period of time, right? And how much effort if I wasn't exhausted at the end of the day, but I got a lot of work done, I say that's a pretty productive day, right? So one thing with that, one habit that I would say that's super important is drinking a glass of water every morning. That's what I do. That's something I've been super big on for the past 3 years. Get yourself a drink of water right when you wake up. Drink your water, right? It gets your body rehydrated, it gets your brain rehydrated, and it just gets you for a successful day because you're rehydrating your body. And I mean, who doesn't like water? It's water, right? And it's super important. Number 2, I would say something is always just growing. Like I said, some sort of piece of knowledge, learn something that day, whether you're reading a book. I mean, always on my desk here is Think and Grow Rich, right? Book right here, right? Always books, courses, videos. I think even in a day, if you even just do 30 minutes and watch and learn something that you're expanding on and taking notes on, that, it's super important. Even that, watching this interview right now and watching this guy's podcast, right? Watch this podcast is going to be one of your things, right? So it's super important doing that. And number 3, I would say is, again, just keeping up with your connections. When you build those connections, right, you want to keep up with those connections. You want to keep going with them, right? It's super important. When you build a connection, what some people do is they forget about it. They let it go, right? But when you have better connections, right, getting those connections on there and keeping up with them, following up with questions, right? Saying, hey, do you want to do something together? Is super important. And so those are the 3 things for me.
Super. Mic drop. That's awesome. So you also mentioned in your content that your mission is to which your mission is to train 500 people by the end of 2022. How you
Yeah.
are able to achieve this number, and what is your strategy that you are going to use? Any one strategy that you wanted to share with us?
Yeah. I would say something for me that I've been doing is, first of all, I've been really obsessed with my goal. I have it written down. I figured out what that looks like. I've surrounded myself with the right people. I'm doing that with my dad, Bob Proctor's program and all that. And then what I'm also doing is reaching out to people, right? Asking, right? There's so many people out there who are asking me for this type of information. I know people are looking for it. Sometimes they don't know exists, right? So coming up with that is super important. So I've just been messaging people, and so many people, what they do is they message someone and say, hey, do you want to buy my program? Like, what the heck is that? Like, just ask them to buy your program. They don't even know who you are yet, right? Build a connection with someone, build a valuable relationship. I drink way too much water right now. But one thing is again, right, asking people about that. What are their goals, right? Some people don't know what their goals are. And, I always ask people, what is your goal, right? Well, I don't know what my goal is. Well, here's what a goal is. And then they're like, oh, this is really cool. I mean, we do a totally free, no pitch mastermind session on Wednesday so that we help people find out what their goals are and how to achieve it, right? It's totally free. There's no pitch. We're not pitching anyone. We're just helping people, right? If we help people, I think the clients will come, right? But I'm all big on helping people, and people valuable thing for me is creating a relationship with someone, right? Not just pitching them. No one likes to be pitched nowadays, right? Creating a relationship with them and saying, hey, here's my product. I mean, if you're interested, here it is. But I mean, totally, right? It's just coming up with different little tactics and stuff. And I'm always learning every day on different things like that and how to make my sales better and all that. So it's super cool.
Superb, superb. Like that is superb. Relationship building is one of the key if you literally wanted to grow, because people wanted to talk and purchase something from people, not from any bot, and so they only buy when we have good relationship, or we are connect with them, someone like kind of a emotion or something like, right? So at this age, like you are just 13, so what things your parents teach you, and so you are develop that kind of mindset at the very young age? Because to be honest, at the age of 13, I don't know what I wanted to do in my life. So what is the things that you learned from them?
That that's a great question. My parents have always been really good at exposing me to the right information. That's how I was exposed to Bob Proctor. My dad taught me about that, right? And different things like this is super important, right? They're exposing me to the right people. They're introducing me to the right people who are on a high frequency, right? Who are always expanding and learning and stuff like that, right? Again, I always say surround yourself with people you want to be like. I'm surrounding myself with people like you, right? And it's things like this is really, really important. And being open. My dad's always been really open with me on things that I need to be doing. He's like, Luke, off task, you're not following up with your goals. And I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't been felt really productive lately. And it's like, yeah, right. And then it's having an accountability partner you can have too, you can talk to and you can share struggles with is super important. My mom is really big on creativity and art. She's always been a huge influence in my life as well. All that kind of stuff. And so, having a great support team around you is super important. My brother as well, he has a YouTube channel, and he's always super positive and super supportive of me as well. And so it's just surrounding yourself with the right people, creating a support team, asking the right questions. I mean, those are just the things I just keep talking about today. But I want people to leave this conversation today with that in mind, right? With those things in mind. It's super important.
Wow. Superb, superb. Guys, this is literally crazy stuff he's sharing with us. So, yeah, we are here for a few more minutes. So, if you have a question, you can also put in the comment section as well. So, like, what is your future goal?
My future for me, I would say that's a great question. And because I have a future what I want to look like, but sometimes, it can always change. I don't have an exact thing on that. But for me, I know I want to help 500 people. My year, like in the next year or two, I want to help 500 people. I want to grow this company with my dad, high frequency habits, to helping people all the time, doing live streams, doing podcasts, going up on stages and helping people is super big for me. And then like product wise, I mean, there's different things that I'd love to buy and stuff like that I'm working towards. I love the outdoors. Anytime I'm not indoors, that I have to be indoors. I like to be outdoors. Even if it's warm outside, I work on my computer outside. I love the outside. This is actually my backyard. Our toboggan hill is right there on that white path. And so I love being outside. That's my favorite thing for me. And so doing any activities. So, whenever I make a sale or whatever, most of the money I get, I spend it on things outside. That's just my thing. I love it. And it's my meditation ground. It's what keeps me happy. And yeah, that's totally, for me, that's what my future looks like. I want to keep doing this. I want to keep helping people. And I want to just live the life that I want.
Well, helping and serving is what exactly help us in our life to get more growth and more visibility. Superb, superb. Luke, this is literally crazy interview. This is literally crazy session with you. Like this is an inspiration for me to learn something new from you, and that's super awesome. So, guys, if you have a question, you can also put in the comment section for Luke. So, like Luke, you also have this website
Yeah, that's my main website.
LukeView.com. So can you share a little bit about yours? This what is it?
Yeah, so that's my main website, lukesview.com. Anything I've ever created is mostly on there. My Instagram account of all my photos. My Instagram account isn't like daily updates. It's actually photography. So I'm not as consistent on there because I have to take photos of that. Yeah, that's where my videos are as well. So all my videos should be automatically uploading to there. A little bit about me, how to contact me. I created that website first version when I was like 8 years old, when I was launching my business. Took me like 2 months or whatever because I was building it from scratch and I worked on it every night. And then I redid it in like 30 minutes with a template and it looks even better. So, just learning different things like that. But yeah, that's my website. That's how you can contact me. And yeah.
Super. Super, Luke. That's literally again, thank you. So before we close the session, what is your final thoughts to all the people who started their online journey, offline journey, or what is your suggestion to all the people wanted to do something in their life?
I would say this and I'll say it again. Just start. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to be. You don't know any outcome that's going to happen, right? When you just start figuring out some sort of plan, some people always procrastinate, right? Coming up with different excuses and things why they can't do it and all that kind of stuff. But you just have to plunge in, just start and just do it because that's what you have to do. Once you're in there, that's the hardest part, right? And it's like when you get pushed, when you're like thinking about how you're going to swim, right? You're trying to think how to swim, but when you get pushed into the water, right, you're forced to swim, right? You're doing it, right? So the hardest part is jumping in. And so just doing that is super important. Just start. If you have dreams, if you have goals, doing that, just starting, it's the best thing you can do.
Super. Yeah, fact that you have to start first. Then you figure it out like what things to do and what things are not. We are just push ourselves like I just started. I need to push myself to win the game or to achieve the result. Super. So Luke, that is super awesome, and we don't have questions in the like. So people are appreciate you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
You can, yeah, man. Morning rituals are awesome. I'm huge fan of. So that's super awesome. Energy, awesome energy. People appreciate your thoughts, and that's super awesome, Luke. So again, thank you so much for joining us on this interview show. So I'll be joining you in a minute. So till then, have a great rest of the day.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone, so much.
Most welcome. Bye bye. So there you go, guys. There you go. He is a Luke, and he's just 13-year-old young entrepreneurs who share tons of golden nugget with us. So before leaving this interview show, before leaving this video, please make sure you share the biggest key takeaways of yours and also share your love to Luke. And yes, uh, I'm putting this interview in the my Facebook group, so you can be a part of my Facebook group. If you are not a part of Facebook group, please make sure you can start joining. I put all the link below the comment and description, so make sure you can be a part of it. And I'll back with another interview show soon. So till then, have a great rest of the day. And one announcement before closing this show: I'm started 25 days Facebook Live challenge that starts from 28th March, Monday. So you can be a part of it. I'll send you the details in the comment section or in the description section. Till then, bye bye. Have a great day.